Hello, everybody. How are you today? We are thrilled to have you back. This is the show number 103. 103. Yes, you heard it well, of the Ask Julius Show here at Expansion Network, where we help you and everybody else on this earthship to accelerate the consciousness of humanity. And as usual, we have Kasey Speer here with us. Hi, Kasey. How are you?
I'm good. Angel, it looks like we called each other for matching shirts tonight. Did you notice we got the wardrobe going on?
Absolutely. Actually, it's not, as you know, it's not the first time that has happened, now that you mention it. But yes, absolutely. We have this matching going on, and also, I guess we have many other matchings. And some of them are going to be discussed throughout the show for sure. How are you today, Kasey? How was your week?
It was fantastic. I hope everybody had a great week. As the spring/summertime is here and the days are gorgeous. Got myself out on a 40-mile bike ride today, getting my energy all jacked up for the show tonight. Definitely always have to get my energy jacked up, and hope everybody had an extraordinary weekend and did something special for your own self this weekend. We hope you were able to love yourself, do something just for your own selves. We just don't get to do that enough for ourselves. And it's a big part of raising your consciousness is the self-love component.
Absolutely, it is. And obviously, we have another special. And actually, as you see, there's this QR code at the top right corner of the screen saying beings, planets. Beings, planets. We're going to be disclosing what that means because it's, as you know, it's one of our workshops. It's an online workshops, two-part online workshops, and we will talk about it later on today. If you can wait until the middle of the show, well, you know what to do. Take your cell phone, point your camera to the QR code, and there you go. Your cell phone will take you to this wonderful landing page where it explains everything about, let me tell you something, interaction with beings from other dimensions, planets, and more. And that's all I can share by now. Let me make myself, as I usually do, small. Hold on a second. Let me make sure it's me who becomes small and not Kasey. All right. And I'm sharing here with you some hellos from people on the stream already. Thank you for being so on time. We are 4 minutes ahead, actually, and the people is already pouring in. I can tell today we are going to have a show on fire. Thank you, Greg. Also, Angel Wings, Amanda, hey everyone, great to be here. Love and light to all. Hugs, love, butterflies. Robin Azima, good morning from Aussie. Angel, Julius, and Kasey, absolutely. And the first question comes from Love Like Lauren, which is, hi all, I've heard of souls getting stuck in the void. What is this about? How would the soul get stuck here? And if you are of a high vibration, this doesn't happen, correct?
Yeah, great question, Master. So that feels as if there's different definitions of what the void is. We can speak to you of our knowing of the void, and you are correct. That statement doesn't fully resonate and doesn't really bring clarity, okay? So the void is the space of the launching of all thought, okay? And souls are thought slowed down or expanded in a vibration where then the launching of souls occurs. So we are going to support that souls are not launched from the void. The void is the launching of all thought, and then souls are an expansion of thought in a variation of vibration once having come out of the void. So it doesn't resonate to us that narrative makes any sense because the souls don't return to the void. The void is where the launching of thought is. So that doesn't resonate with us. Getting to your question on the aspect of high vibration. So we are going to expand on that statement because that is a very key statement, Master, to the very many things that you listen to and the very many things that we know that you are curious about. And so you go to different people who have connection and have information for you. Okay. Vibration is a state of knowing. Vibration is a state of knowing. It is a variation of whether you know yourself to be source or not. You are playing out your knowing in a variation of frequencies. When you are of low frequency and you are lost your recall or your memory that you are source, then you are subject to manipulation, coercement, control, fear, imprisonment, slavery, and limitation. Just like when you are embodied in some way, that too can occur to your soul because you do not automatically remember that you're source when you go non-physical. Your consciousness is a continuum. So wherever you were when an embodied experience, that's where you're going to be when you're non-embodied as well. Everything coming back to the knowing that you are source. When you do remember that you are source and you are now experiencing a higher level of consciousness and your vibration is high, then none of the things that we just spoke of will happen to you because you remember yourself as source and you will not be manipulated, coerced, enslaved, or limited in any way. So we love the fact, Master, that you picked up on the key words, which is limitation versus high vibration versus low vibration. And we're going to totally support you on that aspect. When you are of low vibration and you do not have full knowing and full memory that you are source, you are subject to experiences that reflect what you know about yourself. And that is a variation of whether you are fully empowered or whether you are disempowered. And as you all know, when you are disempowered, limitation occurs.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. The next question comes from Karen Tackett. Karen, great to have you here with us. And her question is, hello everyone. Question, Julius, is there a plan changing the way a person purchases property? Is studying to be a realtor a useful plan? Thank you.
So, Master, you may do anything that you choose. In fact, we would say do everything that you choose. Do it with high vibration. Do it with high vibration. Anytime that you do anything in regard to the earthship or the realm and the governing forces, and usually how every system is designed and played itself out, every time you go high vibration, you're going to put a new spin on it. You're going to bring in new possibilities, and you're also going to bring in the energy of expansion and possibilities to occur for you and your client, no matter what industry you're in. No matter what industry you're in. Magic happens in vibration, Master. In high vibration, extraordinary occurs, no matter what you choose on the physical realm. If you are asking us on a very three-dimensional aspect as to whether those systems are going to be changing, okay, with the very many changes that are occurring to all of the systems here on this earthship, yes, probably so. But we wouldn't tell you that that should put off anything that you are desiring to do for yourself, okay? You are source energy, knowing yourself as source through the physical. Choose everything, Master. Choose everything. Do it with enthusiasm, adventurism, creativity, knowing, and expansion of the knowing that you are source. And you will be massively successful in everything that you step into because it has to be that way when it matches that high vibrational aspect.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And the people keep coming in. We have Wendy Pala here. We have XXXO Gaming and Love Line Loading saying thank you. And now the next question comes from Ashley Bell Caswell. Ashley, nice to have you here. Thank you. What actually happened to Madeleine McCann and John Bennett Ramsey, and why did they just recently raise the reward for finding them after 20 years?
Master, everything has to do with child trafficking and satanic rituals, and usually all of those storylines that you are following. Okay. So things are being disclosed, connections are being disclosed. We're going to tell you that it is connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. And more than that, Ghislaine Maxwell. So that she is tied. Jean Bonnet was tied to Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay. And so we're going to say that there are ties linked to that. And that's all that we can say at this time.
All right, fair enough. Next question comes from Swift Sage. Hi, Swift Sage. Nice to have you again. Concerning the white hats within the government, are they aware they are fighting for the light in a larger spiritual sense, or are they normal, everyday people? What makes up that team?
We love your statement, normal, everyday people, as if those of us who are waking are abnormal, right? We are abnormal. Master, there are levels and degrees in every type of organizational aspect. So it's a very, very high level collective, a high level collective. Most of the people that you see are not part of that super high level collective. There are a few of them that you see that are, but the ones that you are seeing are actually not actually them. They're usually stand-ins and lookalikes and even holographic projections, because the ones that are in the elite force of what you are referring to as the White House Council are not out in exposure. They usually hide interdimensionally and into different realms and things of that nature. So usually what you're seeing in your government are, actors and puppets and representations of different things. They are informed far more than you would believe they are. They're pretty much up to speed as to what is going on, but you'll hear very few of them speak of that. There's just protective layers, Master. There's just many, many protective layers.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then the next question is going to be an offline question, actually from our beloved Sony Dean. It's an offline question from a few shows ago in a show, Julius, in a show about selling luxury properties, an old property that belonged to the Rothschilds and later to the King of Morocco. They showed a tunnel under the house with an operating room, many other facilities, and a little train to facilitate traffic. And I was, wow, this looks like child trafficking to me.
Sure.
Thank you. This is for the future shows. Thanks.
Yeah. They're all involved in it, Master. All the royalty, all the elites, they're all involved in it. It's not just child trafficking. It's all kinds of money laundering, all kinds of weapons, all kinds of drugs. It's all the nasty stuff. It's all the super nasty stuff, but they're also ritual rooms. They're ritual rooms, okay? So it's not just the transfer of children, okay? But it's also ritualistic rooms, and also rooms where they drain and create the adrenochrome, drain the blood from the child, and then have their rituals to drink that blood. So they're finding those chambers as well.
All right, thank you so much. The next question comes from also an offline question, Nikki Giannini. Tear down of attachments. Do we have to lose everything we own, feeling like nothing is working for me? Relationship is terrible. Work hardly existent. Not sure what to do anymore. Thank you.
So, Master, it's not about you having to lose everything, okay? We do a wonderful course on attachments that we would encourage you to look into for yourself. So an attachment is different than joy and love. If you have an attachment to something, you have a need for something, and that is a fear-based energy. In order for you to raise your consciousness, you're going to raise yourself out of fear-based energy. So you will let go of the things that you are attached to. But not everything in your life you're attached to, Master. You can have anything that you choose in your life. You can have homes, cars, you can travel, you can have airplanes, you can have yachts, you can have friendships, you can have anything that you choose. Just don't be attached to them emotionally, Master. That's what we are talking about. And that's a big misunderstanding, because people think that they aren't allowed to have the pleasures and all of the fun aspects of the physical realm if you're high consciousness. And that is not true. But it all has to do with your perspective. And as your perspective changes, then your relationship, your enjoyment, and your joy to the things in your life will shift and change. The things that you have become attached to will go away as you grow your consciousness. In fact, for some people, it will be how they figure out they have been attached to something or someone when they go away. But no fear, Master. You do not have to live a solitude life in a cave, on a mountain, with no thing in your life for you to enjoy. Not at all. It's all about emotional state, Master. Emotional state. The difference between love and fear in your consciousness, your awareness, and the reality that you choose to create for yourself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question from Christine Goebel. Nice to see you, Christine. Thank you for being here. Great question from Christine, as you will see. Hey, Kasey. Hello, Julius. Ever since having COVID, I can't take medications and other issues. What's the best thing to do? I've tried to spike protein detox, but not sure if I could tolerate the medication. Scared to proceed. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can do oxygen protocols, Master. There's all different ways, natural ways to remedy yourself. Medications are poisons. Thank goodness. What a lovely byproduct for you from that virus, that you became hypersensitive to the toxicities and the poison that you've been putting in your body. We think that's a wonderful thing, quite frankly. So we would encourage you to get a hold of a wonderful naturopath or an Ayurvedic specialist and get into natural aspects for assisting yourself to be clear and clean and radiant, to toxify, to bring up your energy, to balance everything in your body. So what a wonderful gift you gave to yourself, Master, to help you awaken, because you certainly were not awake if you were dumping all of those things in your body. So we love that this has happened to you, and have no fear, Master, no fear. All is well, but it is vital for you to focus on the health, radiance, and vitality, and the balanced energetic aspect of your physical body in order to raise your consciousness. Mind, body, spirit, it all goes together.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The next question comes from lovely Underlay. Spain had a blackout. Is the United States going to experience the same thing? If yes, will it happen soon? For example, this week?
So, Master, we are not in charge of regulating those things. And so since we do not have control of what other people do, we can't tell you when or if somebody is going to do that. What we can tell you is, from what we can see and the information that we are part of, that there is not going to be a blackout per se. There's going to be a shift and a change, and there could be some mild disruptions. And that is what we see. As far as the timing on it, we are not the ones pulling the trigger on that, Master, so we can't answer that question.
All right, thank you so much. The next question comes from Ashley Bell Caswell. Nice to have you, Ashley. How should I go about assisting my pre-teens to learn to listen to their intuition in a world of distraction? Any helpful analogies or ideas?
Yeah. So, Master, the very first thing that you really should be practicing is for them to put all of their devices down, and get away from the artificiality frequency-wise, so they can hear their intuition. So tell them that all of the devices drowned out their intuition. They drowned out their ability to hear their soul and to connect to their higher self. In knowing that, perhaps they would be willing to spend time away from their devices and practice feeling their interpretation of things, what their interpretation is. What do they think is going to happen? How do they feel about what's happening now? But they cannot do it locked into these devices. They can't. So the thing that we would encourage first, Master, is for you to explain that the devices block their intuitiveness through frequencies. And if they desire to get into alignment with their highest vibration and their highest knowing, they've got to get the devices out of the area, out of their reach, and then practice and get in alignment with the way they feel about different things so that they can start to understand what it will feel like when their soul is speaking to them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Remember, this is show number 103 of the Ask Julius Show, the show in which Kasey Speer channels Julius and their group of entities. And you, the audience, you have the chance of ask questions to Julius and their group of entities every single week on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have offline questions to ask during or in between shows, feel free to send an email to support@channelingjulius.com, support@channelingjulius.com. And we will gladly put that question on our offline list. And every single show, we ask questions from our offline list. And thank you so much for being here. The next question is going to come from Adrienne. All right, let me make sure that, yes, this is her question. I have heard a lot about ivermectin, which is used by horses or for horses. I didn't take the jab, but for people in my family that have, is this medication safe for humans? Thank you.
Yes, it is very safe. Very, very safe for humans, Masters. It's just a dewormer. It's a parasite cleanse, and it will cleanse metals as well. So it'll help pull metals and parasites out of the body. It's fairly strong. And so you need to be a little bit mindful of your intake. Like, you don't want to be taking it, for extended periods of time. You could do it for, a 10-day cycle or a 2-week cycle, and then move into more gentle relief of those things through herbs and tinctures and things of that nature. But ivermectin is wonderful for viruses. It's wonderful for sicknesses, things to get the things out of your body. But we are going to say that from our perception, it is 100% safe for the human body.
All right. Thank you so much. And the next question comes from Sandra Towns. And thank you for being here, Sandra. Hi, question. This week in the UK, a fairly new party called Reform shocked many by doing so well in local elections. Will this party create a good impact and help improve things in the UK?
Well, first of all, you don't have elections, Master. You have selections. Okay? That's the biggest thing that you need to understand, right? So all governing systems are generally run in a selection aspect. The one in the U.S. made it through with an actual election this time, with a lot of work and a lot of disclosure and a lot of elimination and arrests and things of that nature. And the UK hasn't quite got to that point yet. So what has happened is they're inserting this party to help bring about some disclosure for all of you. So that's really what that party is about. So pay attention to some of the things that they're putting out. But we really want you to always remember this, Masters. Take what resonates with you to bring you joy and to bring you empowerment. Remember that there's still a lot of fear interwoven into these systems, and there's still a lot of propaganda that they're going to be putting out. But this is part of a disclosure process for the UK, and that's what we will tell you.
All right. Thank you so much. And it's that time in the show in which we are actually going to show something else, which is the special online workshop. And here it is. And we're going to put ourselves on the side so we allow Kasey to explain this incredible interaction with beings from other dimensions, planets, and more. Actually, I would like, before you go through the explanation, I would like to elaborate a little bit on the and more. Why and more, Kasey?
Because we're going to be talking about, so there's so many great people out there I really want to support, because some of them I know pretty well and I can consider some of them my friends, and I can't mention names, but there's great information out there, about off-planet beings and aliens, in the sense that you're not familiar with them. Okay. And they put out a lot of really, really great information. Julius is going to give us the useful information, powerful, useful inner information from some of these beings. And they're going to be disclosing probably the biggest secret that nobody talks about. None of these other specialists or practitioners talk about one massive key secret. And Julius is going to be talking to everybody about that. And that secret is going to really encourage you, and it's really going to empower you to move away from a lot of your fear. But it's also going to give everybody the opportunity to ask questions. So that's always the best part. We know that there are a lot of people out there, Angel, who have these experiences. They have experiences with interplanetary beings, interdimensional beings. They go out of body. They astral project. They have all of these interesting experiences, and they just don't have a really, really safe place to talk about them. Julius is going to bring a lot of validation and a lot of extraordinary explanation as to what this Earthship is and how it provides for many, many things. The information is intended to add to your conscious journey by expanding your minds and bringing you a lot of powerful, powerful information. As these shifts and changes are occurring here on the Earthship, we're getting more and more of these blatant interactions. And Joyce is going to talk about that versus a lot of the hidden interactions that have been held from us from a very long time. So this is going to be one of those kind of crazy topics, kind of those really fun classes. If you guys out there are curious about these types of topics, come in and join us. And even if maybe you haven't ever really considered these topics, maybe it's time for you to do so, because this is also about sentience, souls, okay, and the many costumes that they wear. And that is always going to serve you on your conscious journey.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And let me go to the next question, because I think that we have already told you everything that you needed to know. And by the way, as you see, there's a QR code at the top right corner of your screen. Feel free to scan it. And when you scan it, it will take you to this page. And you will see this two-day, two-part workshop is going to happen. Two-part workshop is going to happen. And in order to join, I meant you have to only pay $59 US dollars. Really affordable to have access to this information that Kasey just mentioned. Remember, interaction with beings from other dimensions, planets, and more. Interaction with, I have here the two-part workshop information, okay? Just point your camera, the camera of your cell phone, to the top right corner QR code, and you will be taken to this landing page. All right, if you have further questions, feel free to send an email to support@channelingjulius.com, support@channelingjulius.com. And we have so many questions that I don't want to miss any of them. So let me go to the next question, which is from Ailish Keating. Nice to have you, Ailish. Are subliminal programs helpful to change conditions? What sequence of doing things would Julius recommend to change a body condition?
Yeah. So what's interesting, Master, is your verbiage, okay? So you just use the word programs, and that's your answer. That's your answer. You're already programmed. That's what's wrong. So why would you use another program to try to wipe out a program? We don't support any programming of any kind. And we don't really support messing with your subconscious mind. What we do support is to release your programmings, to see all of your limitations and know that they're probably a byproduct of a program, and getting into the dynamics of that program, Master, which is always that you're not source, always that you are not source. Okay. We are going to support that the more that you are actively initiating the remembrance that your source programs are going to lose their chokehold on you and on your subconscious mind. The more you live in the now, the more you will release your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind keeps you locked in previous. It keeps you locked in previous, master, which is a low frequency aspect. So we're going to support to release your programming and the subconscious mind. You live in the now and you accept broader and deeper and more expansive truths, and you lean as much as you can into reinforcing and supporting the truth that you are source, because all your programs say you're not source. That's what they're all about. All of them are about. Okay. And as far as the dynamics of your body is thought and emotion actualized. So as you change your thoughts and you're knowing that you are source, you're going to bring about the changes within your body that you choose to change. But always remember this: the highest vibration version of your own self will always lean to the best and highest frequency representation for your body. And that may not be in alignment with what your subliminal mind is programmed that you're supposed to look like. Okay? That may not be a healthy version of you. That may be a dimorphic version of you. That may be a very, very distorted version of you based on your programming as far as what you think you should look like, or what the body should look like, or how it should perform. All of that gets resolved in high frequency, but then you have to trust the frequency representing itself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question comes from XXXOCute Gaming. And the question is the following: how do the Chinese people recuperate from the current collapse of the CCP economy due to the tariffs? Thank you.
Everything's handled, master. Everything's handled. Okay. Everything's going to go parallel, global. Okay. This is all about the currency reset, and this is all about the reset of the nations across the world. Have patience and watch how it's going to unfold.
All right. Thank you so much. And now another question from Ashley Bell Caswell. Was the Canadian election last week a selection or an election? I have a bad feeling about the new prime minister.
Everything's a selection, master. Everything is a selection.
All right. Thank you so much. And the next question, well, this is a comment from Adrienne. I love this conscious journey that I am on. Call me in. Absolutely. You bet. Yeah. All right. And then Lynn, nice to have you. Hi, everyone. And a smiley face question. In Julius' last reincarnation, did he ascend off the earth plane?
Yes, master, we did, but it is not in your history books. That lifetime is not written in your history books. Okay. So the last one of the incarnations of us that you have written where, we got stabbed by many of the people that betrayed us, that was not our last incarnated physical embodied life. But we can tell you that we have been joyous in several timelines, as well as several lifetimes. So remember that Caesar is a title. It is a title. And we have been Caesar many, 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 many times. Okay. And Julius is one of the physical representations that we were. But the timeline that we would tell you was the one that we ascended off of, for which you are speaking to now. Yes, we ascended off of it, but it is not that timeline that is written in your history books.
All right, thank you so much. Question from Hilda B. Hi, Hilda. Nice to have you. When animals whose digestive system is designed for carnivore diet reach a high level of consciousness, do their digestive system change for vegan diet?
That's a very interesting question. It is a transition in your systems, masters, for a representation of consciousness, okay? But your body is not designed for a carnivore, and so it doesn't transition energetically or physically to become enabled for veganism, because your body isn't carnivore to start with, Okay, you are uh, you're you're a frugivore, which is, along the types of, with apes and things like that. Okay, and so what will happen when you raise your consciousness, masters, is you end up not eating as much materialistic food, and you become more light and air, more light and air. As you raise your consciousness, you let go of eating sentient beings. Eating sentient beings becomes you because you become aware of the fact that you're eating yourself because of unity consciousness. Okay. So a carnivorous designed embodiment will shift usually to carnivorous type of eating or meat type of eating that does not involve sentience, just like just like you will naturally as you raise your vibration and raise your consciousness. But you are not carnivorous, and so you're probably kind of trying to tie animals in with humans, but you are not carnivorous to begin with the way that they are. So their transition is a little bit different than yours is.
All right, thank you so much. And the next question is or comes from Robin Azima. All right, and Robin Azima's question is, "Hey, hi Kasey, hi Kasey, Julius in Australia. We just had on the weekend our election. Same Labour Party got back in. I feel it was also rigged and will change. Will change come. Seems it's getting so corrupt here. Thank you."
Yeah, it is corrupt, Master, and it's part of what the U.S. went through with the last administration, where there was ridiculous disclosure shown to people who are willing to see it and willing to accept the difficulties of how corrupt a system is. We are encouraging everybody worldwide to hold the vibration high and hope and hold the knowing that change is coming, and all of it is a system of drama, and most of it is a system of control and manipulation, Master. Hold your vibration high, project your vibration. You are very influential positively in your light. We are doing the same for everything that is playing itself out here on this Earthship. But yes, it absolutely is a rigged selection.
All right, thank you so much. The next question comes from someone. It's the first time that we see him or her asking a question. Does love really exist on this planet or and frequency?
Everything is love, Master. Everything is love. When you understand that, that is the inspiration. So the authentic energy frequency that you are as source is what is described as love frequency. Love frequency, which means in a lot of translation, it means no limitation, no limitation. Okay. Humanoids experience what they describe to be as love in many, many ways. Compassion and empathy are the two words that we use to best describe the word love or the dynamic love, as in the interactiveness of it, the exchange of it, and the demonstration of it here on the Earthship. And it absolutely is part of the written signature of your soul to be empathic and compassionate in its highest vibration and high conscious version of itself. So yes, every soul has the opportunity to reach the highest vibration and only live from love. In the meantime, it dabbles in love, but most of the time you are correct. It is not love. It is fear. It is control. It is manipulation. It is agenda. It is requirement. And that is not love. That is fear. But even fear, Master, is the lowest vibrational demonstration of love. Okay, that's what it is. So ultimately, everything comes back to love. As you continue on your conscious journey and you deepen your understanding of self as source, you will come to understand what we just explained to you much better for yourself. Hold your light, Hold your truth, Master. Be empathetic and compassionate, first of all, to yourself, and spread your truth to everyone, and you be the demonstration of love on this realm.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And let me remind everybody that we have a QR code at the top right corner of the screen, which is about the upcoming workshop, two-part live online workshop on May 6th and May 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to know more details, just take your phone, point your camera to this QR code, and you will be taken to the landing page that we earlier in the show show to everybody. And we go back to the questions because we have a lot of them. The next question comes from Christine Goebel. Do you know what Baron Trump whispered to Biden at the inauguration ceremony that made his phrase drop?
Of
So
course,
curious.
of course we do. Of course we do. Are you asking us to divulge that to you? You shall be surgically removed.
All right. Thank you so much. And now, Sodom 03 says, receive, thank you. And Adrienne says, exactly. Thank you. Let's go to an offline question right now. It's actually from Hilda B. I'm not sure if we responded it after that show that you asked, or if you asked it again, Hilda, in one of the shows, but just in case, we just want to make sure. Hilda B, when crystals are cleaned, what are we removing? How does self-cleaning crystals such as citrine or citrine and kyanite clean themselves?
Through their vibration and also their elemental properties. So different crystals have different elemental properties, masters. That's the truth. But you're cleaning low vibration, toxicity, and thoughts. So crystals hold consciousness. And so if they're around a lot of low consciousness and fear, they'll be holding that. And then they release that consciousness as well. So you want to be trying to keep your crystals in high vibration, just like you. You want to be cleaning your energetic field because, masters, you're one big crystal. You have crystalline energy within your body, and it changes in its structure depending on your level of consciousness. So when you're a low level of consciousness being, you absorb and hold negative energies, toxicities, and limited thoughts, just like a crystal does. As you raise your vibration, you change the structure of your physicality, and you will be in a continual ongoing cycle of cleaning, cleansing, expanding yourself and your vibration. So basically the exact same theory.
All right, thank you so much. The next question is actually from Karen. This one we've already, yes, Karen Tucker. Julius, can you explain what kind of facility the med beds would be held in?
Well, right now they're held in military facilities, what you would describe as military facilities, highly protected facilities. Where they're going to put them is yet to be seen, but if and when they get ready to release them to the public, they will more than likely be held and housed in a lot of the same of the type of hospital and medical facilities that you have now, though they'll be renamed for health and wellness and healing facilities instead of poisoning death facilities. But right now they're in military installations.
All right, fair enough. The next question is actually another offline question from Sony Dean. Julius, I am curious, will the young people grow up with a desire and for more freedom and fairness? Thank you.
Well, that's up to them, Master. It's up to them. Unfortunately, they're extremely subjected to programming. So right now, most of their thoughts are pretty limited and controlled unless they're staying off those devices and they're staying out of the poisoning systems and things of that nature. Unfortunately, a lot of them are going deeper and deeper and deeper into dark and negative energies. It's just like you, masters. If you keep your brains clean and clear, they can open and flourish and receive. And your bodies, and your intelligence, and your wisdom. The young don't have any more benefit than the older do. It's an aspect of conscious awareness and what one chooses or who one chooses to be. What's interesting is that everybody seems to want to just pass off responsibility to another generational to be some form of a savior or a fixer for the planet instead of just taking on that responsibility yourself, because your age is a complete illusion. It's a complete illusion, masters. You are source and you are infinite beings. So we would encourage each one of you to act upon your desire to know yourself as source and heal the wounds of the dysfunction of disconnectedness here among humanity and all sentient beings walking on this earth ship.
Thank you so much. Another question from Sodom03. When you get someone's name placed on you, does that create a soul tie into another lifetime?
So, Master, you choose your name. Okay, you are the one that chooses your name. And you're the one that whispers into your parents' ear, or whoever names you, your name. Okay, so you have chosen your name for some reason. Your name usually is very much tied to your personality and the type of being that you are. All you have to do is study namology, and you will generally find that to be a truth. Okay. Your soul tie doesn't really have anything to do with the name that you chose from yourself, but the attachment that you have for another. Attachment that you have for another. As you grow your consciousness and let go of your attachments, you will let go of the need for that other soul, and it will let go of that thing that you seem to keep regurgitating between you.
All right, fair enough. Next question comes from Turk Thornton. Turk, nice to see you. Hey, Julius, can you explain why it's so important to speak life and love into your water, sending love and light to everyone?
Oh, because it's a vibration, Master, because it's a vibration. Isn't that lovely, right? We really would encourage you to be doing that to anything that you're putting in your body, that you're putting on your body, that you're interacting with. So it's a vibration. It's a vibration, Master. And everything that you can bring into your quote unquote reality, or what we want to call your artificial reality, what you believe is true in your life, and you do it consciously with awareness and a high vibration of love, will always benefit you. That's what we will tell you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And the next question comes from Sarah Air. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Many spiritual teachers talk about the souls coming in now as if they are different. I think they are the same, but coming into different energies. What does Julius say about this?
So, Masters, we will tell you that there is only one soul. Everything is a fractal of oneness, a fractal of oneness. Okay. And the fractals will experience everything, every thought and every experience. The Earth ship is one of those experiences that are infinite. So souls will get around to being here, and many souls will reoccur here as long as they choose to gain wisdom from the experience of being here, which is usually quite a lot, as they gain their wisdom of knowing that they're themselves as source. Okay. We think what the narrative that you're talking about is that souls that have arrived in this timeline, this intentional timeline for this massive shift where a lot of revealment and release of fear is occurring, that these souls are very much aware of that is what's taking place. Hold on just a second. And we would agree with that statement. There's a lot of intentional souls coming to help inspire and demonstrate the shift that is occurring. So we would actually say that we don't think that any of the souls are new here, meaning their first visitation in this timeline. But also remember this, Masters. Your timelines are being mixed and blended and tumbled and shuffled and folded into each other. And so souls are getting shuffled around as well. But it gets extraordinarily complicated because we're always going to speak to you from a unity truth. And the narrative that you're listening to is talking about singularity. So the narratives don't always cohesively blend. They're completely opposite in theory. So we're going to say there isn't a new soul, and we're going to say that there isn't a singularity of a soul. We speak of unity consciousness, fractalization, and only one aspect, in which case, then there would nothing would be new.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And that was the last question of today's show. And again, another amazing show. There are 3 or 4 questions we're going to keep for the next show. Thank you so much for being all the time, every single day with us. Any final comments you would like to make, Kasey?
Just want to encourage everybody to check out the website, Angel. We are pumping out energy process specials right now. In addition to the class that we put up, we've got some extraordinary offerings for people who are interested in having personal energy sessions with Julius. Go to the website. Please do that for yourselves. We're halfway through the year already. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, right? We are almost at the halfway mark, and I want to send everybody so much love and for being here with us already. It's crazy, right? Time is just, it's vaporizing around us. So we want to tell everybody to have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week, and we'll see you next Sunday. And I hope I have the opportunity to interact with all of you on a very personal level. Thank you so much for being with us. So much gratitude from me and my team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for our production team, because they are nonstop working all week long to make sure that we can be on air every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Ask Julius Show. And next week is going to be the 104th shows already next week. And if you have any other questions to ask, or you want to know more about this workshop on beings and dimensions and planets, send an email to support@channelingjulius.com, support@channelingjulius.com. Thank you so much for being with us. We love you. See you next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. We love you. The Ask Julius Show here at Expansion Network, accelerating the consciousness of humanity every single day. We love you. Bye-bye.